Back at the cabin today. I brought my girlfriend with me today, so she's going to be in the cabin. Hopefully, I'll get to cut a few trees for the workshop. I brought my saw with me, so hopefully it won't freeze up like last time. This one is a way bigger model. Engine's bigger, crank's bigger, and everything, so hopefully it's going to withstand the cold. It's around -8 today, so I should be okay with the tools freezing. I didn't bring a lot with me since we had to walk here, so I only have a little sleigh to drag in a little bit of supplies and food. Okay, so I brought a few supplies with me. I brought some candles just because I want it to smell a bit nicer in here. And I also got these things. They're little like mothballs with their cedar balls. Apparently rodents don't really like them. Hopefully that helps. And another cheap apple cider candle. So I got that. Got a few cans of soup. And this is the most important part. Kind of, I bought this to, I guess, motivate myself. So it's a tin first aid box. So rodents, mostly mice, won't get in here. It's empty so far, so it's pretty useless. But I'll have to fill it up because I don't have anything to really treat a wound here or anything. So hopefully when I fill this up, I'll be a little bit more safe at the cabin. So this is pretty much what I didn't want it to happen, but I knew exactly what was going to happen because this tree was right beside a maple that was droopy. So, well, maple's going to catch it and, it's going to get hung up. I knew what happened. The hinge is good and everything, but, yeah, I knew it. The branches are super, super long on the maple and, it's hardwood. So the head on this spruce, I think it is, it's pretty light compared to the maple, so I just caught it, super softly. They didn't break branches or anything, so now I'll try to unhook that the best I can. And the issue with this, usually I really wouldn't care that's hung up, but it's just because I want to keep as much as a log as possible. So I'm really trying to not do any like section cuts. Usually it would just come from underneath, it would crack, like if you're doing firewood, it would just crack and it would end up falling to the ground. But now doing this, I'm trying to obviously preserve as much of the log as possible. So it's not the greatest if this happens, but what have you, right? Okay, so about 10 minutes after now the saw got stuck again. Knew it was gonna happen. I thought I'd take a chance if I could move the saw before the hinge collapses, since I didn't want to do a section cut to waste like 3 feet of the log, which I should have because now the saw's stuck. I broke a good part of the hinge with the axe. It should fall over now anytime soon. Hopefully I'll be able to take the saw out. Did a stupid move and I won a stupid prize, I guess. Come on. Right, it's coming. There. That should work. Having an actual felling axe obviously would work. Having this little thing, not the greatest, but still save the day again. I really just need to find myself an escape route out of here. I don't think it's gonna fall, but you never know. If I'd have my skidoo again, I could had my manual winch. But I doubt that this is gonna get down from there. I'll try to cut like a little notch out of it. I'm just gonna be wasting so much log, but I'll try it once, and I guess if it doesn't work, maybe 3-4 feet off the ground, I'll just let it be. Hopefully it's gonna come back close, not on the camera, but close enough. Yeah, give her a shot. It's so much more less dangerous when there's no snow. Oh man. I'd really like this tree to come here. Come on. Nope. Alright, so this is probably the worst thing to do, but since I know that nobody's here, I have to just leave this tree jacked up in the other one. Terrible thing to do, just for the simple fact that I don't want to cut it any more than I did. I just lost like a 4 foot length now on the ground, which is absolutely terrible. I don't like cutting down trees for no reason, so that's a waste, but I'll reuse that for sure. If only I'd have my little winch, I could just attach it to the tree right next to it, pull it over, job would be done. But I don't. So severely underprepared. I thought I'd get a little bit ahead, but that was a bad idea. Since this is a good sized tree too, it's just very, very heavy and I can't move it by hand either. And it's pretty hung up in this maple. So I'll come back to this one and I'll go search for probably another decent sized one, but maybe not as big. This one's about a 12 incher. So tree number 2, honestly this tree is probably bigger than the other one, like a 14, 15 incher. But I already marked it a while ago, and I think it was in a previous video. And I wanted to cut it. I cut all the bottom branches off of it. But it's leaning a little bit backwards. So I just don't have a lever like I'm supposed to, or a corner, or what's called a wedge. But I have this thing, so I'll try to wedge it in the back with this and lift up. Hopefully the head will move. I have to be careful because it's kind of in a hole here. So as soon that it falls, if it falls, it will take my head off if it kicks up. So you're gonna have to be careful for that. Yeah. Try to get started here. This thing's just too weak. Tool's too weak, but it's working. I'm gonna break it. Alright, so I missed it here, but the tree, I shut the camera off. The video was just gonna be too long, so I was like, I'll cut clips out. But yeah, the tree fell. It actually fell backwards. But I could cut it to length, and I will drag it with the snowmobile. Hopefully, hopefully if everything goes well. The next time that I fell trees, I will be a whole lot more prepared. Should have brought another saw, not this freaking thing. Literally the exhaust is falling off, so it's burning my hands. I'm getting the cylinder straight piped onto my hand, which is not good. Chain is dull. Should have just checked it. It's my fault, but yeah. So I'll try to limb this as fast as possible. It's actually getting pretty frisky outside. Cut these branches off and go inside to warm up. Still don't know how long the workshop's going to be in the back, so I don't really know how I'll cut these, but it's a problem for another day. So I stopped deep branching about a third up the tree, just because I don't know how well it's going to be with my sleigh and the rope. So just in case the tree fell the right way to pull it out. So at least I'm thankful for that. But I don't know if the rope is going to slip on the frozen bark. So I left the branches, like I said, 2/3 up, just in case I'll have some good grip to my rope. I don't want to struggle too hard getting this thing out of here. So on my last video, I actually got some decent suggestions from people. I got quite a few views, so thanks for sharing and stuff. Liking and sharing and commenting makes a really big difference. But yeah, somebody said to put an outside thermometer, which is a good idea. I have to find one that looks pretty rustic, I guess, just a wood one. And to put a nice birdhouse, on the side here, which would be a good idea, because I could see them over there. But just putting one on the cabin, like just a little tiny one, even if it's a little feeder, would just add a nice look, I find. So maybe just like a little decent sized one. That would be pretty cool. So I'll keep an eye out for that. So yeah, thanks for the suggestions and stuff. I look at pretty much all the comments and I try to respond to as much as I can. Yeah, I've been pretty busy lately, been working a lot, but I'm happy when I could come to the cabin. Also, for the famous bird seeds, that was everybody's concern when I brought them here. I put them in here, so they're not going anywhere. Nothing bad's happening. They're fine. Actually, I need to find a way to bring them. So I guess this lid'll do. I'll be just fine until squirrels figure out that they could eat through here. Seen squirrels eat literally through like an inch thick of plastic, no problem. So obviously this little barrel won't be anything for them. And also mice so far, touch wood. I haven't had any serious problems in like 3 weeks, which I'm pretty happy about. Yeah, let's go bring this to the birds. pretty much try to throw some on the ground on purpose. Just so I could attract them. And rabbits also love this stuff, so. Doesn't seem this year there's a lot of hares or rabbits in this area, sadly. And there you go. In the summer here, I know there's a crazy abundance of birds, so I'll try to keep the seeds up as long as I can. Well, for today's trip to the cabin, I didn't really have the right tools, so I got some pretty serious complications. Trees were getting hung up. Didn't have any wedges, didn't have a lever. I'd really like to buy a lever, but they're pretty pricey. So I had to do with what I had. I successfully put one tree down, but it's not the outcome that I wanted. I would at least like 2 or 3. So far I got like 1.5. So not great, but in that one big tree that I put down, I'll have a solid 4 or 5 logs. So I'm really happy about that. I have my old tree that I put down. So far I felled 3 trees, and since it's not going to be like another 10 by 10 addition, I might do it, I don't know, maybe 6 feet in the back of the little workshop. Hopefully that is going to go pretty well. So yeah, pretty happy how it turned out. Comment, like, and subscribe, and don't forget to share the video. It helps out a whole bunch.